Andris man nepalīdz, tad, kad vajag palīdzību, tad jānāk palīgā citiem kungiem, jo Andris ir tikai virtuāls. Bet tagad mums būs, kā jūs redzat, mums būs saruna. Un tagad parunāsim par mākslīgo intelektu un tās sniegtajām iespējām. Tādēļ uz skatuves es aicinu mūsu viesus no Lietuvas, Ruslanas Abdrachimovas, kurš ir Lietuvas mākslīgā intelekta asociācijas valdes loceklis, un Juliju Maslinskaiti, DocLogix biznesa attīstības vadītāju. Welcome, the floor is yours.
Oh, this is cozy. Labdien, good afternoon. So before we jump into our AI talk, I have to address the elephant in the room. Why did someone invite Lithuanians to an all-Latvian event? Well, maybe even the most advanced AI couldn't figure out how to make this conference as brilliant without adding just a touch of Lithuanian expertise. All jokes aside, it is a great honor to be part of this wonderful conference. So my name is Julija. I am Business Development and Relations Manager at DocLogix, a company that provides document management solutions for organizations of all shapes and sizes. While I might not be an expert in AI, I'm honored to share the stage with someone who definitely is and holds an extensive experience in this. So hi, Ruslanas.
Thank you, Julija, for having me here and inviting to this conference to discuss the most interesting questions these days.
Yeah, so maybe let's start, with the beginning. Please tell us just a little bit how you got started into AI and what you are currently involved in.
Yeah, the first time I remember when I was exposed to something like AI technologies was during my school years. I was a little bit a nerdy guy, so reading some books, looking what can be sort of as hobby fiddled with. But seriously, I came back to that topic many years ago, at 2015, when I started looking at sort of second wave of machine learning and AI, which started showing already some practical applications and promises, not only having something academic. In 2017, I joined the founding team of Nascent Works, and basically one of the main topics was start working in machine learning and AI industry. And in 2019, I co-founded Lithuania AI Association with other AI enthusiasts, data scientists, and companies who are working in that area. And now I'm working with Nascent Works and our corporate clients on projects that are related to data processing and model building for their specific purposes. And here we are.
Yeah, so that's quite a journey. You started very early, as I'm hearing. And I believe the AI wasn't a hot topic back then, as it is right now. So now I think everyone's speaking about AI, and it influences nearly every aspect of business, including document management. That's what we do. So Ruslanas, in your view, what are the most exciting opportunities that AI brings to this field?
Yeah, there are lots actually of opportunities. The main thing is here that some steps of document processing and verification or transformation could already be automated with current computational capabilities and models that are sort of known. And this would be like extraction, validation, tagging of the documents, workflow adjustments and predictions, analysis, that's an interesting topic, and some fancy things like ChatGPT generation, document guided generation, or business question-based generation. These all are areas that actually could be very interesting and valuable.
Yeah, and actually, your company, the company that you co-founded, has a slogan, "We make business fun by giving boring stuff to computers." I really love it, and I think that it beautifully reflects, how AI can help save time, and increase accuracy. Correct?
Yeah. The thing is that AI not only increases accuracy, it brings some complexities to business itself. How boring would it sound looking at the current optimism? The thing is that companies who want work on AI projects, they need to understand how their processes are impacted, how the risks for clients are sort of appearing with these systems, and how they control the implementation, the risk of the project itself, how the system works. They need sort of to consider the properties. In any case, the AI is still the software, it's still the tool. All the risks and issues still apply.
Yeah, that's an interesting topic, so let's dig deeper into that. So you consulted a number of companies about the implementation of AI, right? So what do you see as the primary obstacles that the companies usually face when they are trying to implement AI in their processes, or just considering to implement AI?
Yeah, companies that are more or less starting with that, which is not the core expertise working with machine learning and AI, I've sometimes faced the thing that they probably got confused at some point about because of the AI hype. So they have quite undefined understanding what AI would bring them. So main thing here would be probably to focus on customer value, business value, have business KPIs and technical KPIs that actually are related to business KPIs, and track everything and risk manage. Because if you forget these sort of business fundamental things and sort of focus too much on AI, lots of projects have issues with that. For example, Gartner mentioned that 85% of AI projects are failing because of unclear business goals and of convoluted R&D management process.
Yeah, so you have to understand why you are doing this, right? And only then start to do it.
Yeah, it's still a tool.
Yeah, of course. It's still a business, it's part of the business. And you also mentioned me before this talk that there are a lot of challenges related to data because companies usually have, the input and no output, right? And then it's hard to train the algorithm.
Yeah, that is one of very interesting questions. The thing with AI and machine learning systems is the quality of data is the king. Like in a business, cash is the king, quality of the data for AI is the king. Because during big data sort of hype years, companies started accumulating lots of data, but they sort of forgot in some points to make sure that they have all the business-related data also collected, cleaned, and preserved. Some of them did that quite well. And that ends up in the fact that if you are doing AI system that should predict, or basically the prediction should create some value, you need to have inputs and outputs. Input is not sufficient because you need also to understand what should be the output. Is it the price? Is it the quality? What is it?
Yeah, that really resonates with our experience actually at DocLogix, because some time ago we ventured into creating our own OCR solution, and we faced challenges related to data. It was not sufficient, and it took a lot of time. We had lack of resources for that, and eventually we just understood that it makes more sense to integrate our partner solution and not do it by ourselves. So, considering these challenges, what advice would you give to the companies that are looking into implementing AI?
Yeah, I would suggest always to focus on business metrics, go from these to technical metrics and risk manage everything, and have an understanding, is it an R&D project for you, or is it a business investment project for you? Because if you confuse these two, you basically get into a situation where you have the output that you don't know if he can be extracted from the data, but you have already the expectation of investors, of customers, many things that actually sound very bad. In case you quite clearly know the risks and manage it as R&D process, you can incrementally and iteratively track metrics and decide if it warrants more investment, and after that go to business investment cycle.
Yeah, and I would like to dig deeper into the document management once again. Given the sensitivity of the information that is usually held in the documents, let's shift our focus now from the challenges to potential risks that there are when you are already using the AI. So what, in your view, are the major risks that companies should consider when they adopt AI in document management especially?
If we would be talking about the case, like in your case, some integration with third parties, and the exposure to third party needs to be sort of controlled and understood well. Also, if you are not talking or not using some third party, you need to understand if you accidentally don't expose the data that you use for training to unrelated customers. For example, if you are entering Google query search, you can see the completions that other people have been entering. Of course, it's more like statistical auto-completion, so you cannot say who was entering what. But in case of in-house systems that are exposed either publicly or to some clients, cross-client leakage might happen, so you need to understand that. And also all the security-related things for regular software systems also apply with additional complexity of data exposure.
Yeah, right. And we hear, the companies telling their employees that please do not put sensitive data into ChatGPT. Please, please, please. Yeah. What could be other measures that companies could and should take when they are running, the AI inside, so they would be safe?
Actually, there are lots of things about security that probably need to be addressed. There are also issues related to discrimination, because if you have some older data or the data that has not been controlled for occurrences, let's say auto-completion for some positions or technical positions or positions in HR in the company would be sort of more predictive for men or women. That are also some more complex things to look at and need to be sure. Also, if you are doing some system, let's pretend like ChatGPT, are you not creating more problems? Are you not exposing some groups of our social ecosystem to risks or discriminations that are caused by that system? However, I would like to add also here that all the technology, less or more advanced, actually has the same responsibility. So you should avoid the risk to possibly negatively affected groups of people.
Yeah, and I think that is, part of sustainability, another topic that is a big thing right now. When you're doing business, you have to think about the impact that you're doing and, try to make it as positive as you can and less negative. But, addressing those challenges and risks is very important. However, when we are speaking about these new technologies, there's always a lot of excitement in there. So shifting gears from risks to opportunities. What emerging trends do you find especially promising or exciting in the field of AI and document management?
For example, from current very hyped out trend like ChatGPT, which is called generative models, the combinations and integration of these models with external systems, they are so-called cognitive architectures, which basically allow systems like ChatGPT to use external tools. For example, document management system API could be used as external tool. Also external memory, because retraining of the model like ChatGPT costs like 5 million and takes months or two. Not many companies can sort of have that budget to refresh the data. external memory systems could be used to refresh the data. It's basically a database system that's connected to generative AI. Also, the extraction, document-guided or context-guided models, which are specific to some areas. For example, for document management, if you handle medical documents and banking documents, the same words mean different things. It means that you should have domain-specific models treating or managing them or making decisions.
That's interesting. I hope my team is taking notes. So one more thing I would like to touch on is the timing. I think every entrepreneur knows that timing is everything in business. And we had to learn this the hard way, actually, because I think nowadays everyone tried at least once to sign a document with electronic signature, yeah? Our company tried to create a portal for that 15 years ago. So we had the technology, but the market wasn't ready for that. And then about 5 years later, the competitors did basically the same thing, and it was a major success. Another example that you mentioned me off the mic was the ChatGPT. So you said that they had the technology and the experts in AI were using it over 5 years ago, yeah? But we saw the massive explosion happening just recently. So taking this into account, do you believe the time for AI in document management is now, or do you see any critical factors that would implement the readiness in near future?
I think looking only from the company, let's say you have the company and you want to understand if the time AI for your company came, you should be looking more at customer value, your business value, your KPIs, if they warrant the investment and the current technology gives that value. If the investment is worth, and you can see obviously and can measure sort of the need and the client's willingness to pay for that, then the time has come. Because as any investment, if you just go from tech side that you can do these cool things, but customers don't want to pay for that, you basically have no business there.
Yeah. So it's not just about the technology; it's how you apply it, right? Well, speaking of perfect timing, it is time to wrap up our conversation. But before we go, I want to hear any last piece of advice or insights you would like to leave the audience with.
I will probably be boring. Focus on customer value, business value, and metrics, and track, and risk management. KPIs. Yeah, because you would wonder how many simply don't have the KPIs. They are trying to get back and forth between business and tech. And trying to change the KPIs on every cycle, so you actually have no idea if they are progressing or not, and if they know what they want to achieve.
Yeah, so as in every tech business, I believe, you have to focus on the customer and their needs. It's not so much about the technology. Okay, so thank you, Ruslanas, for exploring the world of AI together with me and sharing your very valuable insights. And I have one last confession to make. I asked AI to craft a perfect ending joke for our conversation. So here it goes. How do you know you are at a conference with Latvians and Lithuanians? The topic shifts from AI to who has a better basketball team.
Okay.
Thank you for having us. It has been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you, Julija. Thank you, Ruslanas. Thank you for your discussions. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being here and joking about Latvians and Lithuanians.